Good morning, everybody. This is your boy D Mac. Welcome to D Mac Let's Talk. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by this morning. This is my first live stream, so everybody just bear with me. I'm just checking things out to see how it go, pretty much, and start to utilize this a little bit more because I actually didn't know that I had these capabilities. So, good morning, everybody, and let's get into my topic. My topic today is um, activism should not be an ism because an ism is a scheme, and it's something that's where you put into a whole lot of work, and it's more like a scam or something like that. So I don't want to see it as an ism. And I got that from the Rastafarians because they don't believe in the isms and schisms and the organizations and things of that nature. So I took that into comparison and I said to myself, well, if we're going to go by that line of thinking, then activism shouldn't be an ism. It just should be we're active in the upheave or the uprising of the black man in the black community. So with this activism, I'll go into it because what really brought this thought to my mind was I was watching an interview that Malcolm X was doing in 1963 at Berkeley, and it was brought up that Lena Horne and Dick Gregory, rest in peace, that these guys were really, really heavy into activism, and Malcolm's response to that was, but they're not activists. They're not activists. They're comedians and they're singers, and they perform activism out of necessity because we look at the time whenever Dick Gregory became a comedian. This is back during the time of Richard Pryor first starting and stuff like that. I believe he started before Richard or something like that. And Lena Horne, back in these days, there was still a whole lot of doors that were closed to black people in the industry. And in order for them to get a foot in the door, they were going to have to do a couple of things. That means that they were going to have to compromise their integrity, and they were going to have to go along with the program and push the agenda in order for them to get the foot in the door and to be elevated to the level that they were during that time. And so what Malcolm was saying was, how much activism can they really do, because they have a leash tied around their neck, and they're not really going to be able to say as much as they want to say, because as soon as they get out of line, that leash is going to be tightened on their neck, and which was given to them through their stardom and their fame and all of the things like that. So Malcolm was saying these are not really activists. They're only activists out of necessity because they have an audience, a target audience, which is black people, and they are going to have to appeal to the black people. So if they don't stand up for the rights of black people or say something, then they're going to be shunned by the black community, because back then black people really stood for something. We had substance, and we wouldn't just have anybody as a musician. You had to have the character and the personality along with the music that you were presenting to the people. So there was a higher expectation placed on the artist back then than it is now. And what was going on then, I take the story of Ray Charles. Whenever he went to a show and they had the people segregated, and Ray got back on the bus and he said, I'm not doing the show if my people can't be down here to enjoy the show like the other people. And they banned him from Georgia for that. And for a long time, he was banned from Georgia, and then he finally got that situation cleared up, and he made the song Georgia, which went on to be a mega master hit. But the point being, he was a activist out of necessity. That wasn't because he just felt the injustice being done and he took it upon himself to go and do it. No, it was actually because um, he had an audience there. Now I'm not going to take away from what Ray Charles did, because um, He was taking up for the people. And when he heard what was going on, he did what was right. And anybody would do that if their people were being done unjust, and he's there to entertain the people. So let's fast forward. Now we're in 1963. Malcolm X is talking about these artists. And he's saying that they can only be so much of an activist when you're in the music or entertainment industry. And notice that those are only the areas where they will really give us any type of status that's in the entertainment industry, whether it be sports entertainment, whether it be music, or whatever may have you. We always get spots in entertainment, but when it comes to the spots in Wall Street and things like that, there's always some pushback. And so um, Malcolm brings a great point. How much can these musicians that we follow today, and these internet celebrities, social media stars, how much of a activist can they really be? Because there's an incentive. There's always an incentive in everything that you do. And what is their end goal? What is their plan? What is their outcome that they're milling for? This is what we want to ask, because when we have these people coming in, we got to know that their intentions are right. We got to know that their intentions are pure, because we've been used time and time and time again by the black boule, just to keep us appeased, to make us think that we're getting something, dangle a carrot in front of our face, and then let us down again. And so now that um, we have these athletes, black athletes, that are standing up and are becoming strong in their activism, like a LeBron James, a Kyrie Irving, a, Gwen Berry, so forth, so on. When these people stand up and they start to speak out about things, they're told to shut up and go back to doing whatever they do as far as entertaining crowds. We want your entertainment, but we don't want your input. And this is the mindset that's being given, and this is the mindset that a lot of people have adopted. So how far is LeBron willing to go for activism? How far is Kyrie willing to go for activism? I spoke before about Mara Moore, who sat out 2019 and 2020 WNBA seasons so that she could deal with a wrongful suit dealing with our judicial system concerning someone that she's close to. So, what are these other guys willing to do? The big money players, these big money athletes, and these big money stars, are you willing to turn down roles? Are you willing to sit out seasons? Are you willing to risk that money, those checks and stuff like that, for the the uplifting of black people and for black rights? Because Malcolm made a very great point. He said every citizen in the United States has rights. There are laws that are written in place to protect U.S. citizens. So, if that token, if we are U.S. citizens, why do we need laws written to protect us? Why, here in 2021, do we need a crime bill if we're citizens, if we're U.S. citizens like they say we are? Hmm. That's a very great question. That was asked in 1963. I still haven't heard the answer to it yet. So we have to find the answer to that question. If we are truly citizens, don't we fall up under the laws that protect the citizens of the United States? Why do they have to write a separate bill for us to protect us if we're supposed to be protected under the Constitution? These are things that we need to ask. These are questions that we need to bring out to the forefront. Stop being scared to ask around white people, because this we need to ask the question too. So, salute to all of the athletes and things that do speak out. And salute to people like Colin Kaepernick, Gwen Berry, for not compromising their integrity. They said money is not going to stop me from saying what I need to say or expressing what I need to express. Because most Americans, let's be honest, it comes down to the dollar within. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That's the mantra of the United States. And so if anybody turns down money, an American can't understand it. They can't comprehend that because they're all about money. America is all about the almighty dollar. And so any athlete out there who's willing to turn down the money, who's willing to sit out seasons, who's willing to boycott their industry in order to bring about change, then I may say that you are affiliated with activism, but I won't call you a full activist because you always have that leash around your neck. And whenever you say too much or do too much, they're going to tighten that leash. Look at Bill Cosby, look at Colin Kaepernick. And I don't want to, I put Bill Cosby in there just because of the way they did him. I know he's no athlete or nothing like that, but he's donated over $72 million to athletic programs at HBCUs. So I guess I can throw Bill in there, but they're going to do you dirty. And if you don't follow their agenda, you don't push their agenda, and they've given you what they've given you, you know what the consequences of that is, LeBron. You know what the consequences of that is, Kyrie, and all of you other guys who speak just a little bit, just enough for the community to be like, yeah, yeah, he's on our side. He's really for the people. But let it come down to it. If it comes down to their check or your check, guess who's they're going to choose every single time? Okay. So understand that whenever you start looking to these athletes and these singers and stuff like that as your black community leaders, you have to get those priorities straight because those are no black community leaders. The black community leaders are the ones that are actually in the community every day. They're the ones that you see at the grocery store getting groceries for people. They're the ones that you see in the community outreach programs or at town hall meetings so that they can voice their opinion to the people who can send it up the chain to the people that really matter. These are those people. These are the true warriors. And I salute each and every one of you. That's from D Mac, man. Um, so, this is like I said, this is my first live. I thank anybody for coming on. I'm going to do this a lot more and just be ready because I have a whole lot of information and I have a whole lot of insight and wisdom that I just want to spread to the world. I'm like I said before, I'm not here to be anybody. I'm not trying to blow up and become a big celebrity or anything like that. I'm just here to share information, spread information, share love, spread love, and that's it. Anything outside of that, I won't be dealing with. That's not my MO. I did enough fighting in the war, and I've been spending my days home just chilling and being at peace. So if you're about chilling and being at peace and growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all of that, then come chop it up with me. But if you're about toxicity and arguing and always wanting to be right and trying to correct people and stuff like that, you can bypass my page. I really have no problem with that. I really don't. I want quality people. I'll take my 72 quality subscribers over a million fake, fickle, fragile people any day. Um, but yeah, so who are our community leaders? We need to establish this. Who is the top black spokesperson for the black community right now? We don't know that. We have guys like I said, and they're mostly musicians. That's Killer Mike, Ti speak out a lot. We have what's his name? What's his name? David Banner. David Banner is definitely an inspirational brother who's active in the community and things like that. Um, so, we have these guys, but once again, unless they're retired and they already have a nice fund set up for them, if they're still performing and all of that stuff like that, they still got that leash around their neck because those music execs and things like that, they can get them shows shut down. They can stop them from going touring and using their catalog to make money. They can dry up their bread real quick. So will they be willing to compromise in the face of their bread getting messed with in order for the message to go forth? This is what I want to know. So we can't really put our full trust in these entertainers who are becoming activists. If you look back in the days, our true activists were active all the time. You know what I'm saying? Full active. That's what made the word activist. But when you're part time, you're only so active. And giving money to the cause, yeah, that's necessary. It's appreciated and all of that. But what's needed most is your presence. I'm so sick and tired of seeing actors play the role of the type of person that we need to lead the community, but they will never step up in their real life and be that person that we need in the community. These are the type of inconsistencies that we see and that have always held us down. And so now it's time for us to take that role back in activism. We can't let the athletes and the entertainers take that role and claim it as theirs because they simply don't have the time to really do what needs to be done as far as activism. And if you've ever been in community advocacy and community outreach, then you realize it takes a whole lot of man hours. It takes a whole lot of your time and your effort and your compassion and your love and your righteous indignation. It takes a whole lot to be an activist, and you have to be self-motivating. That's something that's going to take you through those times when everybody else is feeling discouraged and they need somebody to uplift them. There's so much into being an activist, and it doesn't come down to, well, I've got a big platform. If I just say something, then the people will know I'm behind them. No. We want to see you out there when we're doing the marches. We want to see you there in the council meetings. We want to see you there whenever these atrocities are happening and these tragedies are happening, and we need a voice that can really get to the people that needs to hear it. Because all they hear is our loud screams outside, our screams of disappointment. But you guys have that inside scoop to where you can go in and you can reach certain people on a level that us regular people can't. But are you willing to do that? That's the question. Because if that was the case, we would be a lot further than we are now. We know Michael Jordan wasn't willing to do it. We know that Magic Johnson wasn't willing to do it. We know that none of these guys during that time were willing to speak up about Black rights or civil rights at all because it would have messed up their money. Michael Jordan said it. Um, Charles Barkley said it. And all of those guys who came through that era pretty much knew you keep your mouth shut about certain things. You play the game. You sell the shoes and all of the other memorabilia with your name on it and your likeness on it, and make us money, and you'll be all right. But just stay out of the politics. And that's why when you have guys like LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant that'll step up and speak out about things, that you have a Laura Ingraham that'll say, shut up and dribble. Just shut up and dribble. And that's been the sentiment from day one, because they always give us money and power in the area of entertainment, but they never give us money and power in the area of business, where it would really affect and spark the Black economy. Because if we go back to Black Wall Street, which was the Greenwich community, they gave us the template of how to be successful and build your own economy without the help of the outside influence of America. And that, by them demonstrating that, it started to inspire. And through the inspiration of that, it caused the other people, I'm not going to say labels and ethnic groups or anything like that, but we know who I'm referring to. It caused the other people to realize that if we become economically independent of them, this country and its infrastructure would fold, because everything was based upon the black man. If you look at the prison industrial complex alone, if we left the United States, or if we detached from the United States system, do you realize that their whole judicial system would fail? The private prisons that they are funding by keeping young black males in there at a high rate would fail. All of these things would absolutely crumble, and the infrastructure of the United States would totally crumble because it's based on the delinquency of black people. So when you discover things like this, you have to say to yourself, who is going to be the real activists in our community? And you can't be a part-time activist. It's not something that you do just when you feel like it, or when you get upset at something that you saw. This is something that you work on every day. This is something that you grind at every day. We're constantly researching. We're constantly contacting other people and networking and trying to find programs in our communities, or get programs placed in our communities to give our young children a chance, because we understand that you kill a tree by taking out the roots. And so now that we're working with the youth and we're trying to develop these programs, where are these celebrities? Where are these entertainers? They're only there when, and I understand. No, I understand that they have schedules, they have shows, they have concerts, and all of these things that they do. But they also have a staff. They have a staff of people who that they can give that time to further the cause, to further the movement. Hey, I'm here on behalf of so and so. He couldn't be here in person, or she couldn't be here in person, but they sent a representative, and this is what we have to go towards the movement. It's just that simple. It's not hard at all. It's not rocket science. So I'm going to say this to all of the entertainers: we love you and we appreciate you for what you do, but don't take on the mantle or the title of activist if you really can't put your all into it, and you're not willing to compromise. I mean, you're willing to compromise, because that chain around your throat, that big paycheck that they give you, the movies that they give you, and the endorsement deals and all of that stuff like that, that comes at a cost. You can't just say whatever you want to say when you sign those contracts with Nike and Adidas and Puma and all of that. You can't do just what you want to whenever you enter that binding contract with these people. Now they have control over your personality because they have your likeness. They're selling your image, your likeness, and everything about you. So now you no longer own your own identity, and they're going to push whatever image of you they choose to push. And if you don't back up the image that they chose, then they're going to get rid of you real quick. It's just that simple. So, I guess this live thing is working. Hey, thank you, Connected. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate the support. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more of these videos. And now that I learned how to do this live stream thing, I'm about to start connecting with everybody just a conversation level. I'm gonna open it up and we can just talk, dialogue, and get some answers to things. Like I said, I'm always going to be a solution oriented person. I'm never going to be closed minded to anybody's ideas. I'll take everything into consideration, but I'll chew up the meat and spit out the bones. Um, Thank you for coming in. I'm going to be doing this more often. I enjoy this. And this your boy Mac. I'm out.